gonna start dancing. Oh no, wait, are you recording? Merry Christmas, everyone, and... Oh, sorry, am I moving forward and I shouldn't be? Okay, start again. Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy New Year. I hope you and your loved ones are gonna have a really nice Christmas. This is just a quick video of my year in review. I'm gonna be talking about certain things I got up to and certain things that happened to me that I had no control over medical-wise, but yeah, I'm just gonna talk about that and everything. So let's start with the first quarter. I'm just sort of cutting up the months in the year, so January to March. What I got up to. So coming off the back of 2018 where I was hospitalized, I was trying to get my life back together and trying to just recover as well. So I got a new job in January, which was cool. And also, I tried to take up skateboarding, or I tried it. It was fun and interesting. Also, I actually had to say goodbye to a band I was in. I basically realized there and then that it wasn't fair for everyone involved for me to keep trying to carry on when in actuality I needed to take a time out. I needed to breathe. I needed to find myself again. I needed to look at everything, assess it, and say, can I actually do this in the state that I am in? So because I had been reffing for a couple of years prior to last year and this year, you could say, I did take up some NSOing roles throughout the year. It wasn't sort of every month. If some of you are scratching your heads like, NSO, what's that? It's roller derby. Some of my friends who are watching this are from roller derby, so you'll understand, but for those non-roller derby peeps, I'll leave a link below and everything, but I just basically took up non-skating roles in roller derby. It was really good, insightful, very educational, and it's really lit something inside of me that I still want to do roller derby, regardless of what role it is. If it's on skates or off skates, I still want to be involved. I want to sort of manage my life and try and put in a routine and get more involved in everything. So that was the first quarter of what I got up to. The second quarter, which for me would be April till June, that was interesting. Interesting to say. In April I was hospitalized. Unfortunately, whilst I was at work, I got an episode of atrial fibrillation. AFib, my boy. A lot of developments have happened with that, and unfortunately I took myself to work and I sort of was on the floor and didn't get back up again. I found myself in ACU, acute cardiac unit, and I was in there for I think a couple of days and had to actually take a week or so off from the new job I'd been in for a few months. I mean, that was annoying and stressful because you're like, I'm in this new job and I really want to make an effort, and you know, but then it's like, oh, I've just sort of, I've ended up in a hospital. So again, that was an eye-opener for me. It was showing that, oh, actually you need to reassess things again. And also it was because my AFib, I think at the moment I'm trying to manage it and everything, but back then it was really just, it was just going off all the time. And when I mean going off, I kept getting episodes. They could be weekly to maybe once a month, and it was horrendous because I was always sort of scared to step out the door, but I knew I had to go to work, I had to do other activities and stuff, but deep down inside, I'm not gonna lie, it was not that great headspace wise. I always felt anxious and nervous to go out or to do anything, which down the line I've learned a lot. So there's that. And then also, you might not know this, but if you follow me on my Insta, IronGirl26, I'll leave it linked below. For a career or anything, I'm sort of the casual cosplay. I don't know if that's a word or not, but I sort of just like characters that I really like. I want to dress up as them. And if anything, the cosplays that I do, it's a great escapism. It's a great thing for me to dress up as all these different characters and go to these conventions where my fellow nerds and geeks are, and we're just having a whale of a time and buying all the merchandise and goodies and supporting the artists. I always make a sort of a habit of always going down the artist alley wherever I find it at a convention, and I like to give my money to local artists because a lot of them, or actually all of them, are so like talented, and it's just unfortunate that, you know, in this world, and depending on your country and your political climate, or, you know, capitalism and everything, I'm not going to get into it, but the people at the bottom always get stood on and everything, and there's so many people that are talented and sort of the things that they draw, it's amazing, but they might not have the funds. So I always make it an effort to go down to the artist alley dressed up as whatever cosplay I've put together, and buy all the things that my bank account will allow. But if you see now, I will basically show some of the cosplays. Well, I'll show all of them that I did this year. I had so much fun, and a few of them were close to my heart that I really enjoyed. Right, and so we go on to Q3, third quarter. For me, that was July to September, and what I got up to was I passed my annual review for blood testing. Yay! Insert cheers. Yay! I don't know how to use the sound alert thing, so I don't know. I'll start again. So yeah, July to September, I passed my annual testing because I'm on warfarin. I have to check my blood all the time, and I have to be signed off that I am checking my blood all the time. So I went to the annual checkup and I passed it with flying colours because I test my blood all the time, so surely by now I should know how to do it. And what they do is you go to the clinic and you basically show them how you test your blood. And that's basically from washing your hands correctly to getting out the strips and the sharp lancets and everything, and doing it correctly, and then putting it in the machine for it to count your INR. I did that all in front of the nurse, and I was really nervous as well. I can remember I was just like, oh my gosh. She's like, are you okay? I was like, I'm fine. Just really nervous because I didn't want to turn around and go, you failed, and then have that taken. Well, they can't take it off me, but they could basically turn around and say, well, we don't deem you safe enough, you need to come back in and do more training. So it was literally, it felt like an exam, a practical exam, and I passed and it was great. So that happened. Also, during this quarter, I unfortunately lost someone very close to me. I lost a relative. It was hard and is still hard on the family, and all I know is that it's brought us closer as a family. Also, during that third quarter, I got put on my calcium blockers. What that meant was I had more drugs in my system, and it was to try and control my atrial fibrillation, my irregular heartbeat, irregular heart rate, which so far since I've been hospitalised, it has been due to atrial fibrillation, due to AFib, my boy. And so far, touch wood, I'm sitting on a chair, it's been okay. I've been managing well. I'm actually doing a lot more things, and I'm able to do more things. So that was really good. Like, so far, touch wood, it's going well, and I'm managing well as well. So I've said it as well so many times. And last but certainly not least, in September, I started this channel. So yeah, I guess it's took me, how long have I had this heart condition? I've had it maybe 12, 13 years now. I think it's 12 years, but I've started this channel because I felt like I've been through a lot. I mean, we've all been through a lot, but I think like people's experiences, you'll get to learn. And if anything, if you're feeling alone out there, or regardless of your age, if you're young, if you're old, like, it's kind of nice and comforting to see someone out there who has the same heart condition as you. So we come to October to December, fourth quarter. Not much was going on for my health condition. I do know in November, actually, why am I skipping October? October I had my birthday, ooh, and also a couple of days after my birthday a year ago, I was defibbed for the first time, so it's been a whole year. in October that I got defibbed and survived again. Yay! I will do a video about that. I know I keep saying it, but it will be a video I'll do in the new year and everything. Yeah, I want this to be a happy video, to be like, yay. Not saying the other video won't be, but yeah, it will be eventful. So please do stick around for my channel for future videos, and you will get to see that one. But yeah, November time I did a gig, my first gig with an all-women alt-rock punk fused band and everything. That went well. I'll leave links to everything that I'm mentioning down below. Yeah, so that went well. It was really good and it was not bad. So yeah, that was pretty much what I got up to. Not much else that I did during that year. It was very eventful. Also, one thing I forgot to mention was me and my partner, we did go to actually quite a lot of weddings. Yeah. And that was interesting for the fact that every time I have to go away and I leave home, well, I have to make sure that I've planned everything. So from making sure I have all my medication to making sure that the night before I've had decent sleep to make sure that I'm actually okay. So I might have to check my blood and everything, because if I'm going away from home, I want to make sure I'm going to be okay for that whole weekend. And luckily all the weddings we've been to so far have been weekend weddings and I've been okay. I might have felt a bit rough the day after if I've maybe had a cheeky prosecco or something, but and a bit of dancing. I like to dance. But I like to dance, but then, you know, after 5 minutes of dancing and you're like, yeah, that always happens. And I like dancing and it's annoying because, well, there's no way around it. I just get tired faster, you know, as years go on, you get tired more. It doesn't help that my beta blockers and my calcium blockers make me like fatigued, but dancing wise, they were great. It had so much fun and it was good to share those, make those memories, share those adventures with my partner. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my whole year in review. I hope you stuck around and listened to everything that I said. Pretty cool year, you know, there was some ups and some downs, pretty much a roller coaster. I'd like to maybe one day, like one year, just have a really boring year. That would be pretty cool. You can't see this, but my partner's filming this. He's behind the camera and he's like, why would you want a boring year? Because it would be awesome. Just sitting there reading all my comics and books and doing nothing and nothing exciting happening. But yeah, thank you for joining me for this my year in review, and yet again I hope to see you in the new year, and please take care of yourselves. Bye.